Yes, my people, good day. How you feeling today? We're working on a Volkswagen Passat and we're doing some diagnostics. We have some check engine light. So I break out my trusty RTL 906 scanner and we're just scanning just to see.
So we have intake air temperature sensor. We have some misfire codes, evap. But we're focusing on the camshaft code and we are focusing on the map sensor, manifold absolute pressure sensor. We'll focus on those two to start out, right? So we start up on that now. Boom. Print out the information, camshaft adjustment, and then it give you a breakdown. So you see right here, so I have to highlight the stuff so I know what to pay attention to. So for the camshaft adjustment valve, they want you to verify the complaint, which you do already. Ignition off, turn the key off, disconnect the camshaft sensor, right? And check across pins 1 and 2 on the component itself. Should get a resistance for 5 to 20 ohms, right? Here is the wiring diagram. And you have to line up what you're going to do so you can get a bird's eye view before you start. See, camshaft adjustment valve, right? You see I highlight the wires coming out there. It has only two wires. One of them is this one here. This is power. I trace this one all the way back to coming up to here, fuse number 8, and that is fuse panel, engine compartment, electronics box, right there, number 8. So I trace it all the way down and across, coming all the way back to this guy right there. So we know that there should be power on this wire. So if power and ground, we should have power. And then the next one now goes signal right into the computer. Can't really check that. The only thing you can do with that is check for continuity from this point to this point. But you can't really check to see if the computer is doing what it's supposed to do. So that's one thing. And the next component is the charge ear pressure sensor. See it right here? And the diagnostics. Boom. Charge ear pressure sensor. Charge ear pressure sensor. See it there? Boom. What it say here? Ignition on. Disconnect charge ear pressure sensor. Take it off. Ignition on. Check charge ear pressure sensor harness connectors terminal 1 to 3 for voltage. Specified value 5 volts. So 1 and 3. This is the middle one is 1 and then 3. So they want 5 volts to be on it. So one of these more than likely is a ground and the next one is a 5 volt reference. Goes into the computer. You see how much detail they put in here. There is no detail. It just says it go to computer. So once these wires are good, there's not you can do on the computer side other than to swap it with a known good ground if you are suspecting it. All right, what the next thing they want you to do after that, if that checked out good, then remove ECU. That's the next step. Blouse and skirt, because now you're going to check the integrity of the wires from the ECU to the component. So start with the cam sensor first. All right, disconnect sensor. It looks like it was plugged in. They said to check, make sure, say nothing look crazy. Nothing looks crazy. Alright, pins them small. And then we're going to check across the 2 pins here, and we should get between 5 to 20 ohms. Voltmeter. Set it on ohms. Touch them and test. Good. Read good. And you know it's on an angle where you can't really see it. Blows and skirt. It's like the abyss down in there. Wow. Deep down and then the pins are so small. Oh, we have 6.4 ohms. That ohm out properly because it's between 5 to 20 ohms. So that's good. Electrically it's good, but not necessarily mechanically. Said if you receive that reading, yes, go to step 3. All right, step 3 now. Ignition on. Camshaft adjustment, valve, connector, pin 1 to ground. Which is pin 1. It's not written on. Is it written on here? Sometimes it's written on there now, which is pin 1. But everything's so tiny. If I could have seen the wire, could I know? But we can do a connector location, but we're going from 1 to ground. So ground won't do no damage. So our key is on. And because these pins are so small, I have to get like an adapter with a really tiny, really small connector itself so you can get down in there. Because these ones are too big. Ignition on, terminal 1 to ground for voltage. Should be battery voltage. So terminal 1. All right, let's see what I'm checking here. So terminal 1 of the camshaft is this one. And terminal 1 is power. So then going from power to ground. So in essence, we are just checking for power on that wire. So if we go from power to ground, we're supposed to get battery voltage. Boom. That should be a known good ground. Boom. If nothing is here, I'm on the wrong pin. Let's switch into the next one now. And that's on ohms. You have to go on voltage if you want to check voltage. Man, 2.2 volts. I doubt that's where we need to be. See the 11.87, which is probably correct because it's not running and the light's been on, daytime running light. So we have voltage on that, 12 volts coming down the wire, so nothing broken. Okay, so next, after we do that now, next is remove engine control module. Check camshaft adjustment harness connector, terminal 2, engine control module harness specified value. Check camshaft adjustment valve harness connector terminal 2. We just did terminal 1 and it's good. So they want us to check now the continuity of terminal 2, which is this terminal pin right here. We just did this and we have battery voltage. So they want us to check from here to here, checking to make sure that this wire is good. But we just tested on that wire and we see that there's something on it. It's not this test specified, but you know, the wire is not open. And to do that, you have to take this off and then find pin 105, which is a red with a green, and then check the continuity. And then if it is good, if it tests good, I said, if they did this test and it tests good, camshaft adjustment valve 1 may fail under loaded operation. Please swap a known good camshaft adjustment. Boom. And that's it. That's the extent of the diagnostics these days. There is really not, you can't really do anything. You just check, make sure the wire is good, make sure you have power coming down the wire. And if the wire is good, power coming down the wire, you just swap the part out and go from there. So that's what we got to do on this. Bam.
And don't forget to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel.